Alright, on this episode we're going to show how to take apart your gauges so you can get to the LEDs if you want to do your LEDs or just change the faceplate. So first off, I know it's crude, but you need a thin object to get in between the glass and the plastic and pry up the plastic that's attached to the glass. And I like using two knives to get up underneath the gauge at the same time on both sides. You don't want to spin it. And pop up at the same time, and it'll pop right off. And then to get this off the gauge plate, I just literally use thin thing, get up there and lift it up, and it's glued to the back, so you just gotta slowly work up the glue. Pulls that off, and use your torque screw. You got two little torque set screws right here. Pull a little faceplate off, and ever so slightly just pull on the speedometer pin. And that's how you get the electrode plate out. And if you want to just change the colors of the either the needle or the letters or numbers back here, these three change the numbers, and these two right here will change the needle color. Right now I've already changed them all to white. You just unsolder this side and then pop that side off, and then put your new electrode on LED. Also, the LEDs that we use for this you can get from lighthouseleds.com, and you're going to get the PLCC-2 SMD, and then it'll bring up the a whole list of LEDs that you can use, from ultra bright white, cool white, blue, red, green, or any color you want. So to put this all back together, make sure the prongs are lined up and lined up inside here. Just drops right back down inside there. Drop the back plate back in. Screw it back down. Alright, so that's done. We're going to move on to our speedometer gauge and our tachometer. It's all together in one housing. I've already done this, taking this apart, so I just mocked up putting it back together just to show you how to take them apart. So you got a metal lip here that you have to slightly bend up. I again just used a butter knife to easily coax back in there and pry it all the way around. It'll come all the way around. It's all compressed. You just got to coax it. There's also going to be some glue tape, 3M tape, back behind this area right here. You just got to watch how you take this off. I would either suggest heating it up so it pries out a little bit better. And then the glass is all 3M taped to the housing. Now you can do this one of two different ways. I myself personally used a X-Acto knife. I slid it up in between the plastic and the glass, and I just sliced it all the way around the whole housing. Now doing that, you have to clean off all that 3M tape and then re-put 3M tape. Just use 3M tape. I want to make sure it's about 6/16 of an inch wide across all the way around, and then secured on the base. That way when we put it all back together, it'll seal. So now the next step is to take off this black ring with these 3 screws right here. And this pops right off. Once you get this off, you're going to do the same thing to the meter or the fuel meter. Just get them tool behind the plate. And all it is just a loose plastic. Pry it up a little bit. It is glued. So then you just got to work your finger behind it. And the whole plate will come off. Now to take this apart, you'll have 3 screws on each side to take out. Pull it away from the housing. Oh, the screws will drop out. So to take your circuit board away from the front plate here, there's a little metal clip that holds the glass. Take that little clip off and you'll be able to pull free your circuit board from the plate. Now don't take this glass off of here. I would leave that on. Here's the circuit board. Now I replaced the LEDs behind the odometer. I replaced the LEDs behind the needle here and here, those 3 around there. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 LEDs that operate the lights behind the numbers on the speedometer and the tachometer. And once you do that, everything's good to go. Can be put back together. You want to make sure this pin area is completely clean. I would suggest using a Q-tip with some alcohol just to make sure it's clean. Take a little piece of tape to make sure there's no dust or anything on it, because that has to contact this little strip right here that puts all the little numbers on your odometer and information plate. So once that's all done, you put everything back together. Make sure everything's seated properly, nice and tight. And take your pin, start from the front, get it seated in under the glass, and then push it back to the, has to touch that electrode back there. So once that's all done, we're good. We will put this right back into the housing, making sure those little pins right there come all the way through. All right, so we got our back plate back in with the circuit board. Now you could go back and put your original faceplate back on, or you can do what I did. I had custom faceplates made by harleygauges.com. Link will be down below, and it'd be greatly appreciated if when you go to Harley Gauges, and if you guys talk to them to order any gauge plates, face plates, let them know where you've seen it, and just give me a little shout out to them when you order your face plates. Now, I had these custom made. They did not offer these at the time that I ordered them. You got the Punisher skull with the thin blue line on it, and this is all going to light up. Even though I have white lights behind here, this is all going to light up blue because of the blue that he put back here, and then all the perspective gauge lights will light up their colors that they need to light up. So let's get this all together. We're gonna sit there and get it all together, and then we'll get it on the bike and try it out, make sure all the lights work. At this point, before I put any of this together, I would get it on the bike, at least plug everything in and make sure they all work. So we'll do that right now. Look at that. All the LEDs work. I still got that faceplate on there. And get that one working. We're all good to go. Turn this back off. Pull out the main fuse. Show you how I put these things back together. Got the voltmeter. And this one's a voltmeter, and the turn signal's on that side, and it tells you right here, there's the voltmeter, your battery. I just put that right back up in there. Alright, once you get the faceplate on, we're going to put the needle back in. So you want to make sure it's positioned right where you need it. Otherwise you're going to have to take it back off again. So we'll make sure it's right there at the bottom. You want to push straight down. Once straight down, it's on. So there we go. Everything's right where it needs to be. Take the glass, put the glass back on, pop it in place. We're good to go. All right, that one's good. And get to our speedometer and tachometer. Put our new faceplate on. You want to make sure all your grubby fingerprints are off the plate. Make sure you don't hit your the needle in the middle. Otherwise it's going to suck and it won't work right. Right there on 0. And push straight down. Don't push too much force in it, just push it enough to where it stops. Over on 0. Just enough to where it stops. And then we're going to put our back plate back on, or the holding plate. Now we're going to put our glass on. It's got little lines right here to show you where the glass line needs to be. So seeing it's so cold in here and the glass is really cold, the 3M tape's really cold, I know it's not going to stick that well, so we're going to heat it up a little bit. Right in here, we got good lineup. We're able to see everything real good. Push down. Make sure it's seated. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Make sure everything lines up real good. Clean off those grubby fingerprints.
I want this tape real good.
sure everything's lined up. Press and hold. Now, once all that's done, take our metal plate, put your metal plate back on. And all we're gonna do is we're just gonna go back and crimp it as much as we can just to make sure it stays on. Alright, they're all done. Clean them up. Now you want to make sure that when you put your 3M tape, that's all sealed around there, because you don't want moisture getting up inside your gate.
Screw in first.
Those are in. We still need to put our 2 screws down here at the bottom, but we can't put that in until we get our amp tray put back on. So we're going to hook up our gauges. Back on. Slip our amp tray back in, just like so. Only 1, 2, 3, and 4 Torx heads up on the top. We're gonna go right up under here. And we gotta connect this screw right here for the media center box, so it gets held still.
If you don't, it's just gonna be flopping around inside there, and you don't want that.
Alright, so now the last part of it is getting the 4 bolts that hold it into the speaker pods. Now, if you guys remember, when I took this apart, the Torx head on the 1 screw was completely rounded out. So I had to go to the store, find a screw that matched up to go in here. All right, so we got everything in place. The screws are all set to be tightened down. Everything's done, so let's get these tightened down and let's see what these gauges look like when we turn the key on. Alright, now that we got everything done, everything looks great. Let's put the bearing back on, get everything going. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's the first of many to come. It was a little trying at times, but you know, we worked through it together. Got the fairing off, got the gauges out, changed face plates, LEDs, all that good stuff. I think it looks very good. I'm very happy the way it turned out. Check out harleygauges.com. Get your custom gauges or ship them out to him. Choose what you want and he'll do all the work for you. You guys have a good day. P.S. Next video we're going to be doing saddlebag lights, brake lights and whatnot. They're going to go right here on the back. Right now we're just waiting for them to come in from China. Hopefully we don't catch the coronavirus.